Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, divine feminine. Welcome into your reading, guys. I'm sorry for the delay in this reading. I was not keeping well. I'm still not well. So forgive this issue for me, please. If health is not permitting you to do the reading, it becomes a little bit difficult. But here I am, getting a little bit better. My throat is still hurting though. I'll try to see if I can do this reading as much in depth as I can, right? And we'll see. Now, this reading will be with you from the 8th until the next week. Excuse me. And then, of course, so we will do another reading for you, Divine Feminine. Now, we'll see your energies. Let's call upon a divine guide, angel ancestor, my spirit guide into this reading, my divine source. And let's see your first main three energies, the healing, light, and stuck energy. Beautiful. So definitely, divine feminine, you guys, yeah, the vast universe, yeah. You guys are coming to terms with your own self-understanding. Yeah, see, fragmented energy and healing, yeah. Like when you were all over the place, you didn't know what to do with yourself, right? So this part is decreasing. It's decreasing, you're getting better. Lot of things you were being scared of, that portion is kind of taking a different turn where you were scared about a lot of things, being all over the place, playing it safe, didn't know what to do. That kind of an energy, right? But you're healing from all that. There was a period in your life, Divine Feminine is what I'm getting, where you were too much in your dark thoughts about the whole situation in this twin flame connection. And you were, not really being able to get over that situation. So that portion is definitely getting better, right? And you're coming to terms with your own self understanding that you definitely need to heal. Heal from all the mental pressure, the physiological stress, the psychological pressures, and everything, right? That kind of is your holistic or comprises of your holistic self, right? So let's see the next energy here and we'll know. So that's good. You're coming to terms with your own understanding as well. Right? You're making it very evidently clear within yourself that you definitely have to change your understanding, right? Taking steps is the bottom of the deck. Okay. Your intention is to move forward from all the loss that has occurred, right? With people, friends, colleagues, and begin a new cycle in your life to discover more what life has to offer you. But we'll see that bottom of the deck at a later time after we do the reading, and then we'll go from there. So the first thing is status quo. This is a cycle. So there is something within your understanding that you have to change your own self situation, is what I'm getting, guys, right? Coming to terms with something that you had been stuck in, you had not been able to move, you were scared of moving, maybe for some of you, right? But it's definitely a cycle that requires expansion from wherever you have been. And then you have a great achievement, event. So the moment you can open that door to your own new cycle in life, that's when there is something waiting to happen for you. We'll see. and then you have consciousness or consciousness of lack, right? But it's somewhere you are still, what I'm getting is that you're still not, um, you're not still being able to completely get over the whole story with the divine masculine, right? You're somewhere feeling still there is some kind of uh, lack of consciousness or understanding, where you want to do it, you want to expand it, but you're not getting there completely. That's what I'm getting. But we'll see, we'll clarify, right? You're still in waiting. Yeah, there is something still bothering you, is what I'm getting, right? You know that this cycle has to change. You know that. Let me put it like that. You definitely know this cycle has to change, right? Expansion is required. And the moment you can change that cycle, even in your own life, there is something, some kind of an event that is waiting to happen. Great achievement. But the problem here is that what I'm getting is that because of so much of learning lessons, right, that has occurred in your life with regards to this journey, you are still very much in doubt about the whole situation. It's more about doubt I'm getting, right? You're very much in doubt about the divine masculine's energy here, is whether, like, you're not completely trusting his energy here, if that is what the story is, more than yours, right? You're like, yeah, because of so much of learning lessons with regards to this situation, you're not completely trusting this man's consciousness, because somewhere you feel, some kind of doubt of whether this man is ready for anything, or whether he is still in that situation, like, that kind of fear, right? It's not really fear, it's more so what I would say is doubt. It's like you're doubting about, you're in doubt about the situation, right? Whether he can open his heart again, whether he can move forward again, whether he can start something again. You cannot really trust that situation. So taking steps, whether he can take that step, get over that loss, maybe. We'll see. And then we'll go from there. Let's look at the status quo here. Please talk to me about the status quo. So there is a cycle that that needs to change, but then you're in doubt as well about the whole situation, is whether he can change this cycle. Maybe that is also a part of the story. Whether he is willing to move that extra mile towards the great achievement. It can be anything. Please talk to me about the status quo. So you don't know. I mean, that's what the story is, right? You don't know if he can change his own status quo, maybe. That is more so I'm getting now. Let's see. Whether he can, like, you're doubting that part of the story. Let's see. Please give me one more card for the status quo. Because it all depends on his understanding too, right? Like, what is he thinking about the whole situation? Is he willing to move from that situation that he's stuck in? Or whether he cannot do it, that kind of a situation. Because, let's see, great achievement. Because only if he can do that, but like I said, you're in doubt about the whole situation more so. Let's see. Please talk to me about the great achievement here. You don't know if he can really bring himself forward towards you or into the story again, because of the, the past is resurfacing. And you're trying to also heal from that, don't forget, right? Great achievement. Let's see. The past stories are also very much intact in you. Somewhere that, lack of consciousness or consciousness of lack definitely comes because of the learning lessons, the trust issue, everything that involves a relationship in here, right? Something to do with the story here. Let's see. Yeah, you're not being completely in tune with that. Please talk to me a consciousness of lack, because you have seen this man for so many whatever time period, and you're like, oh, I don't know. That kind of an energy is what I'm getting from here more so. If at all he can make things happen, if at all he can work according to what you think is the right thing for you or for this journey. But let's see. The Ten of Swords. So there is some kind of a situation here, which is where you are kind of reached the rock bottom. There's too much of pain, grief, sorrow, mental pain with a Ten of Swords. And it's like absolution. You're ready to give it up. You want to give it up because you can't take this pain anymore. That's the Ten of Swords. Excuse me. Right? And there is 10 means close. Yeah. The Hanged Man and the Strength and the Ten of Swords. Yeah. It's where you have lost your personal power. You have lost everything. Right? And you are no longer, you could not work. You could not function. You kept everything in suspension. Right? Even your strength was in suspension. You did not fully utilize your strength. So there was a lot of things that you have not really made use of, Divine Feminine. And that is where, you are kind of coming to your understanding that you have to let this go. You have to let this go because you cannot keep doing this, where things are not really working for you and the pain is still lingering on because you're not completely using your power to get over that situation is more what I'm getting, but we'll see. You have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and as the waiting period is continuing, the pain is growing and the strength is decreasing, right? Because the strength is a part of the, when you can control your pain, is with your strength. When you have a lot of physical or mental or even emotional strength, that's when you can fight off the pain, any kind of pain. But if the strength decreases, right, that's when you lose your strength and that's where the pain increases. So this is what the cycle has been for you for a long time. And this is where you have come to the point of understanding that this cycle needs to close. You cannot take this pain anymore. This waiting period of not knowing what's going to happen, whether it's going to happen, what you guys are going to do, which direction in life you want to take. You don't know. So this pain is escalating and decreasing your strength. And because the pain has escalated and decreased your strength, today you feel that you really haven't taken action on that. Because you were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and this waiting game has kind of decreased everything in yourself, including the strength part of the story, right? Let's see here. So with the status quo, guys, you get the Emperor, Judgment, and the Hierophant. Yeah. So, it's clear. This, that somebody over here, the Divine Masculine, will have to take a decision on what he needs to do. in the story. That's what you know, or that's what your understanding is. Whether he is willing to let things go and move forward with you, whether he is willing to change his status quo, for you. Everything that depends on what he wants to take a decision on at this point in time, right? Because again, principles, dogmas, values, traditions, marriage, everything is involved, right? So if there is a new cycle, a new rebirth that needs to happen, the status quo needs to change. That is, your understanding is very clear that you are not going to step in with this man in his old status quo, right? Where he was before. If you're going to move with him, if you guys are going to go that extra mile, then the status quo has to change. I mean, his status quo has to change, right? That's where he will have to take a decision on this whole story, because there is a second chance. There is a reconciliation that can very well happen, but it can happen only when he is willing to change himself. That is your understanding. So with the emperor, like I said, you're wondering if he can do that, right? If he can move past, beyond his empire for you, right? If he can take back his power, if he can take a decision on this particular issue, whether he has that guts to take the decision, whether he has that courage to move past everything and take the call on this, on this subject here. So if he can have, it's more like whether he has the courage to surrender what he has and move past that and go with you, or take a new direction in life, right? With a new cycle. Because again, like I said, it's also a commitment issue. It's a marriage commitment. So everything depends on his judgment call. What is that call that he is willing to take on this subject? Okay, so let's see here. Please talk to me about the emperor. Yeah, the Four of Coins in the reverse, right? Yeah, that's money. Like where he has been stuck with insecurity, whether he is willing to let that go. Whether he can let that insecurity go, whether he can, because it's all money, where he was neither growing nor was he shrinking. But, at this point where he was hiding things, right? Eight of Cups, can he abandon that insecurity? Where everything dependent on his, not just insecurity with emotions or material wealth, insecurity with family, with life, with extended parties, anything, right? Where he was not willing to compromise on that particular subject, because there was also a monetary factor. There was also a monetary factor attached to his part of the story, right? So you're kind of in that frame of mind, is what I'm getting, Divine Feminine, is whether he is willing to abandon that part of his life and be willing to change and move forward with you. You're not, and take that call, right? Let's see the Judgment. Please talk to me about the Judgment. Can he really work on that energy? You don't know. That's where you're like, not very certain about this whole situation, but we'll see. Please talk to me about the Judgment. Because it is as part of the monetary thing, where everything attached with money was important to him, and which is just not him, with anybody, right? Where you put in a lot of work over the years, you have created an empire, you have built a home, you have put in a lot of hard work. right? And so are you willing to let that go? Please talk to me about the judgment in order to take a decision of changing his own cycle in life, right? So yeah, so you're kind of in doubt about the whole situation on this story, but we'll see. So with the judgment, you get the Nine of Cups, right? So you're wondering if he is and the Star in the reverse, because you have seen that, injustice, right? So logically, you know there is an injustice that has happened with you in the story where you have not had your wish fulfilled, where your energy is still to be healed. You're not feeling that great about your own situation, about what you haven't got. So you are wondering if he is willing to make compromises on his part of this story in order to make you happy, in order to bring you back to your rightful place, right? Because you have been very unhappy with the fact that you haven't got what you rightfully deserved in your destiny, and you know that, right? And that is where you are feeling that there has been injustice that has happened with you, which is true with his decision. That's because he hasn't been able to compromise with his own security, right? And has not been able to change his own status quo with regards to the decision that he made in terms of this journey, right? So you're not, you kind of feel that, right? So you're like, I haven't got what I deserved in life, right? And I'm definitely not happy. I'm not a happy camper. I'm definitely not happy about this situation because I know that justice has not been served and justice needs to be served, right? So it's more of your emotional come logical energy here where you feel that you like I said, like he was too attached to whatever he had been hiding under covers. He was scared about the whole story. But now you feel that you don't know if he is willing to let that go and bring back justice and heal you from your own losses. Because you have suffered the loss, right? You haven't got what you rightfully deserved. So you definitely, like I said, you're not happy camper over here. Because you know that justice, you deserve justice. You deserve justice. But again, the thing is that how does that happen? Right? It can only happen is only when he is willing to take the right call for you. That's when things are going to move, right? The Three of Wands. Where he finds out more about this, how does he do it? Gets more assistance, understands the situation, learns more about it. So you are wondering if he is putting in that effort towards the whole story. Whether he is able to get rid of that old energy of feeling insecure and stuck, being very monetarily attached to material stuff and not making the move, right? So whereas you know that the judgment needs to happen towards you because you deserve it. Let's look at the Hierophant, because this is where the wisdom part of this story is. What is the kind of wisdom he will show you now? Or he can show you, right? So yeah, you're in doubt about the whole situation if this man can show you the adequate compromise. The Seven of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, see? Because he has been procrastinating the whole story with you. right? Where you have been very clouded about the whole situation, the Ace of Coins, about starting something new or something brand new, where, again, like I said, where justice has not been served. If that's because there has been a lot of delay over this whole situation here, where he has been looking for options and not finding the right options, and that's on and on and on and on kind of a story that kept you clouded as well with regards to this commitment or the spiritual commitment. Even you don't know. Even you don't know, right? So, this is where the whole story is. Please talk to me about the Seven of Cups in the reverse, because there has been a very prolonged waiting game. And that's what I told you. This waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting is coming to a point of your understanding that you are losing your own strength here. Please talk to me about the Seven of Cups in the reverse, and that you have already lost your strength, right? Yeah, the Five of Wands. There's of drama, too much of drama with all this cloudiness. You don't know what's going to happen. There is a learning lesson that there is too much of drama that has happened in here because of this waiting period, right? The Three of Wands, from where you now want to get out. You want to move out of that situation, and you want to take a new route because you're tired. You're tired, and I don't blame you guys, because you still don't know whether this person is going to get rid of this drama and, and be truthful about the whole situation with you. And you have been waiting for a long time, like I said, when you have lost your strength and you're feeling that lack of energy towards the whole situation, and you want to just close the chapter of that painful event in your life. Please talk to me about the status quo. Let's see what the angel has to say. Unlikely. Be assertive. So maybe what they're trying to tell you guys is that it's quite unlikely that he will do it on his own, unless you come to the point of telling him that this is either this way or that way. Could be that, right? Because it is unlikely that he will change his old status quo and will work, because, again, like I said, this learning lesson, this fight, everything that he has been holding on, So it could be that this is what they're saying, that unlikely that he will do things on his own unless you, please talk to me about unlikely here, unless you are assertive that you are not going to compromise with this situation, maybe. Perfect timing, yeah. Yeah, maybe this is what they're trying to tell you guys, that, he has been sitting in his old status quo. Okay, this is also what I'm getting. Hold on. Very interesting. He has been sitting in his old status quo, not willing to change, not willing to compromise. Like I said, because, again, monetarily, he has been attached with situations. He's scared about his own finances, his own security part. That's where he knows that he's not taken the right call towards you. You know that too, that justice hasn't happened towards you. That's because, like I said, he has been procrastinating, delaying taking a decision, and, there has been a lot of drama because of this situation, right? So it's coming to a point where they're telling you that whatever he thought or he's been thinking would be unlikely that he cannot do it, is coming to a point of perfect timing that now has to change. Has to change. Whatever he, okay, yeah, this is what I'm getting. So, whatever he thought that he cannot do for you because of all this situation, that unlikely he can bring justice to you, and maybe that you have been very assertive, but at the same time, he's thinking in his head that I know I can do this, I cannot change everything, I cannot move out, I cannot go for any kind of expansion, right? It's coming to a point where Angel is saying that that situation is changing. There is some kind of divine perfect timing that is changing this whole situation, quite possibly in your favor, divine feminine, right? So whatever that story has been, where situations seemed unlikely, that nothing is going to move, it's going to be the same old cycle, go same old situation, right? Abundance, yeah, with money, more so, right? That he was finding it difficult to leave and understand his, because everybody, see, again, he could have done, I've said this before, guys, that he could have done a lot of things wrong. We are never denying the fact. But when you look at it from a different part of the different objective, more so, right? It is true that money is not everything, but money is a part of your life, right? If you don't have enough to feed, clothe, and take care of your own needs, that situation doesn't seem appropriate for anybody, right? So it is that whatever seemed unlikely in the beginning for him and you, that there is a perfect timing that will change the whole cycle and is changing the whole cycle for you. So there is something that is moving out of that old situation, is what I'm getting, guys. Okay, and that is more so with regards to money here. That he's lifting his restrictions, maybe, and working on receiving more knowledge and wisdom about the whole situation, about how he can move things around for you. So, it's kind of whatever was restricting him. And that is, again, like I'm getting, is more monetary part of the situation, or maybe emotions too. It can be anything for anybody, was holding him back where he couldn't move, right? Where he couldn't move, where he could not see beyond that particular part of the story, right? Is where his restriction, that seemed unlikely that he could ever change those restriction, is changing, because a cycle in life is closing and a new one is opening for him. It's happening very slowly though, guys. And cycle does happen slowly. Okay. It takes time. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Great achievement. So there is something more that he is wanting in his life with you or for himself, and even you, some kind of new event that perfect timing is going to bring in your life, which may have seemed unlikely, which you may have thought that no, it's never going to be possible. That's never going to happen. It's only like daydreaming and things like that. No, it's not possible. It's not feasible. It's changing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's changing. Okay. So with great achievement, guys, you get the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Coins, and the Ace of Swords. Yeah. So whatever he had been, and whatever you had been stuck in too. Maybe, it was a part of your stubbornness that you were not talking to him, maybe, right? It could be that you were not interacting with him much. right? You were not, giving him too much of importance because you have been tired. You have been tired with everything that has been going on because, like I said, that you just seemed like, it's that energy that I'm getting is it's unlikely that anything is going to change. You know what happens to people, right? Over the time period, you just give up on it, that nothing is going to move. So you have been doing the same. But then with the Knight of Coins and the Ace of Sword, there is a change in your understanding that is happening as well. Excuse me. That no, maybe you had thought wrong. Maybe there is more to the story, right? That's what I'm getting. That whatever you had given up on is suddenly you're finding some kind of success in your logical part of the story, that things are changing or will change. Let's see. Because, like I said, you had been stubborn, you had been tired about this whole waiting game, where you possibly did not do your due diligence towards any success story for some of you as well. But there is a great achievement that is waiting to happen, right? So let's look at the Nine of Wands. But you had been possibly not paying attention to that. Yeah, Nine of Swords in the reverse. Yeah. That's because, like I said, you have been going through a lot of despair in yourself. The Queen of Cups, yeah, with your emotions, logic and emotions. A lot of despair. Where something good is waiting to happen, but your focus, Divine Feminine, was more so on how much in despair you are, which took away your strength from the whole story. Because you have been only focused on your part of the story, right? And you haven't been paying attention to what possibly you can manifest or what possibly might change in your life. So there is that nine, the two nines here. So there is something is coming to an end here. It's taking its time, but it's coming to an end because the despair part of the story is definitely coming to an end. When you have been in that situation, that you have been very stubborn on your own self-understanding. Don't get me wrong, guys, but it's like an energy where you feel that the world is closed on you, nobody is for you, and you are very stubborn for people, stubborn for your own happiness. You want happiness, but again, you want the despair, right? You have been carrying on that stubborn despair in you, is more what I'm getting. That's the word. You have been carrying on that stubborn despair in you. You have not been able to let that go because you have been in pain, like I said. And it's not wrong. That's what I said. It's not wrong. It's your understanding, right? It is your understanding that your love has suffered. Your emotions have suffered. So you have been holding on to your emotions. And you have been very stubborn about not letting it go. Not letting the despair go. And, it's like letting people know or letting him know that how frustrated you are with this journey and with this unconditional love that you have given. Then definitely, as the Queen of Cups, where you possibly have not even bothered about your own well-being, right? You possibly have not been bothered about your own well-being, which is where you were holding on to that stubborn despair in yourself with your emotional part of the story that affected your logical sense of well being. Please talk to me about the Knight of Coins. So, this is where the direction is changing for you. You're coming to terms with your own realization. Yeah, see? Yeah, you're coming to terms with your own realization, the Sun and the Tower, that you have to liberate yourself from this energy. You have to liberate yourself from this energy where you have been holding on to a lot of sense of feeling extremely bad, right? Feeling anxious, a sense of despair in you all the time because you don't know anything that can possibly happen. You're not sure about anything in life, so you've been holding on to that energy, being very stubborn about the whole. Maybe some of you have not been talking about it, but internally you have been holding on to that. But that is where, Knight of Coins, that is where slowly you're realizing that the situation cannot go on. Because there is a milestone, there is something that you want to achieve, or there is some situation that is waiting to happen. So unless you can liberate yourself from that gloomy despair, anxious, anxiety, guilt kind of a situation about whatever has happened, putting the blame game here, blame game there, unless you can resolve that situation and liberate yourself. Some of you could have been doing this because of a lot of hurt. And that hurt has turned into your pride and ego today for some of you, where you're coming to terms with your understanding with the Knight of Coins, in the practical world, that if you have to move forward, Divine Feminine, you have to liberate yourself from your own sense of pride and ego that you have been holding on because of this situation, right? So therefore, you're coming to terms with your own success story. Yeah, the Three of Swords. That whatever the third party situation, whatever has been going on in this journey, you need to get out of that for your own success in life. Towards your own success in life. So whatever, you have given up on, where you felt that there is nothing that can change, maybe that's where the divine timing is telling you that you can change it, or you need to change yourself. Because this situation is no longer important to you. You have been too focused on that situation. I've been saying that over many days. That guys, you'll need to get out of that situation and learn to work for your own success story. It's all about individual growth. So unless you can liberate yourself from that despair, that gloom, that anxiety that has happened because somewhere there has been a sense of your ego and pride. So unless you can liberate yourself, you will not be able to achieve your own success. Please talk to me about the Ace of Swords. And this third party situation will always keep on giving you trouble. Please talk to me about the Ace of Swords. You need that breakthrough. You need that clarity in yourself, in your understanding. Please talk to me about the Ace of Swords. That there is more in life than all this third party and all this, situation that has caused you so much of pain and so much of grief and so much of sorrow and so much of despair, right? The Knight of Wands. Yeah, and you need to be courageous. You need to be bold. You need to bring back your sense of adventure, but you can do that only when you can liberate yourself from that gloom, right? The Lovers. Yeah. And bring back that balance and harmony in yourself. That's when the balance and harmony will come back into this relationship. If you can let that go and work towards your own liberation as well, right? Be courageous. Be courageous. Because you could be impatient now to bring about a change in your own self too. You want to. Because somewhere you could be getting a breakthrough. Somewhere you could be coming to an understanding that you cannot be holding on to this situation anymore. Done. It's over. Please talk to me about the Knight of Wands. So you could be looking for a change in your own situation and you could be impatient. You want to get out of this situation and liberate yourself from all that area that has been suffering. You're the Queen of Wands, that's you. And turn back your own energy here. Bring back your own passion. Be adventurous. Right? The Knight of Cups. And follow your heart desire. Right? Bring back your own energy. Maybe some of you have lost your own energy here because, like I said, you have been too much under the weather and under the sun. You need to let back the sun in your life again. And bring back your old energy. Be that passionate woman. Be that sexy queen. Right? Get back, go go to a spa, do something about your looks. Some of you may possibly need TLC, right? Impatient to bring back happiness, enjoy life, attract back friendship, attract back people in your life, have fun, go to parties, dress well, make that movement happen, right? Please talk to me about the great achievement. That's what they're saying. Don't sit in that energy anymore. Enough is enough. No. They're saying no. The situation will improve. Yeah, that's exactly the whole point. Don't sit in that energy anymore. Right? Don't sit. Say no to that energy. So whatever you have to achieve, go out and have fun. Bring back the joy in your life. Don't sit in that energy anymore. There is a lot of things that you can achieve. You don't have to wait for this man to come and bring it to you, because here you are, the Queen of Wands, the sexy queen. I call her the sexy queen. She has everything. She is like the, without her, a party is incomplete. So this is the party time. Go have fun. It's a Christmas season, right? A lot of you guys will be taking time off from your work. Offices are going to close down. So, yeah. So do what you have to. Meet your friends, dress up well, buy a new wardrobe, go Christmas shopping. Do something that brings back your energy and moves you out and liberates you from all that. And don't sit in that energy. That's why they're saying, don't sit in that energy. All the situation will improve. So don't give it so much of importance that you forget to look after your own self. That's what they're saying in message here. Take time for yourself, guys. Look after your own energy here. It's very important. What this man is doing, let him do. What you have to do, you do it. That's what they're saying here. Okay. A consciousness of lack. Again, learning lesson. Okay. So with that, you get Page of Cups, 8 of Swords, and 10 of Wands. So what they're telling you guys is move away from that energy where you have been feeling very stressed out, very toxic, because of all the learning lessons. You don't have to be there. Look after your own emotional need. Be happy. Make life happen once more. Bring back that energy in yourself. Like I said, everything doesn't depend on the divine masculine for you. You are an entity. You are an identity. This is your identity, divine feminine. The Queen of Wands, esoteric, beautiful, sexy, passionate, right? Everything that a person, a woman needs is in this Queen of Wands. So yeah, so this is where, that's why she showed up here. She didn't show up in as any other form. She showed up as the Queen of Wands. So again, like I said, forget about, excuse me guys, forget about what has happened here. Where you have not been paying attention to your own emotional need. You need to bring that back. That energy is going to come back, but you have to work on that consciously. Because if you don't work on that consciously, that energy will never come back to you. So you have to make an effort to work on that energy. So whenever you're feeling pulled down by different thoughts, by the toxicity, by that stress, when you're feeling burnt out, not communicating with people, not talking to people, feeling tired with life in general, you have to change that mood. You have to vibe in a different mood, right? Please talk to me about the Page of Cups. You have to vibe in a different, you have to look after your own emotional well-being. Yeah, see the Queen of Swords. You have to learn to understand your own story here. Pay attention to yourself. Learn to work with people who bring you happiness. Six of Swords. That will immediately clear your baggage. Clear your baggage. You have to interact with people who bring you happiness. Learn to talk with people who make you smile. Learn to work with people who bring you happy messages. And that will immediately relieve you from all that burden and stress and feeling burdened with life in general. So you have to change your thought process. Cut out people who don't bring you happiness in your life. Bring in people who love you, you love them, right? Please talk to me about the Queen of Swords, because you have learned your lesson that you don't need to sit in that energy where you feel drowned in sorrow. Yeah, the Five of Cups, right? Where you have seen what has happened. There is a learning lesson. You need to move out. The Knight of Cups. You need to get out of that and follow your own heart. You don't have to sit in that energy where you are drowned in apathy and sorrow and grief and disappointment. You need to cut out people of those kind from your life. People who don't bring you back your happiness is not your family, not your friend. People who allow you to move forward, follow your heart, have your goals, dreams fulfilled, is your people. So you have to, there will be people in your life at this point in time, divine feminine, let me tell you, who will kind of try to pull you down as well, right? Who will energetically kind of feel, kind of want to pull you down, tell you sob stories, tell you sad stories. You're like, no, I don't want that. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want people in my life who bring happy messages that allows me to follow my own heart desire, right? So you have to watch out for that energy. You have to be very conscious of that energy. If there are people coming into your life, or even if it's the divine masculine coming into your life and giving you some sob stories and not making you feel happy, the Seven of Swords, right? Where energetically you will be again thinking different. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want to move away from the deceitful energy. So if anybody tries to pull the wool over your eye with any kind of sob story as to why they could not move because of this, because of that, this person can come and tell you that, right? The divine masculine. He can come and tell you why he was missing you There has been a lot of grief and regret. Somebody could be pushing him to tell you that story, and he could be telling you that. But, now he can be coming back and telling you that he wants to follow his heart desire. He wants to make you happy, but you have to be very careful here. You have to be on your guard with what you hear from this man as well, and what you're learning from him. So, unless he really gives you the right message that he is willing to follow his heart, right? And that he's wearing his heart on his sleeve and not going to deceive or cheat you again. You have to be very careful about that energy here, right? Where there could be a possibility that again this energy could be returning back, the Seven of Swords. So you have to be on guard, Divine Feminine, that, with this story here, because somebody could be telling this person, go talk to her, tell her what she wants to hear, so that she feels happy and you can bring back some emotional happiness in her life. But don't be too serious about it. It can be that too. So you have to be on your guard, Divine Feminine. You have to be on your guard that you don't get caught up in that energy again. Right? You have to watch for it, because that's where this Eight of Swords is. That's where the toxicity has happened, right? So unless you know for sure that what is being told to you is right, that somebody like him, the Divine Masculine, has gone through a learning lesson and is now ready to move forward. Until you are very clear about that story, don't open up your communication too much, right? That's what they're trying to say. Please talk to me about the Eight of Swords. So be careful about this situation here, because this person could be also doing this in order to open up communication with you, right? So you have to watch for that energy, that he might be coming in here, the Page of Coins, right? That he might be trying to discover a new path towards opening up communication with you again, but then you have to watch for it. So unless your intuitive self tells you that it's okay to talk, until that happens, do not go for it. That's what they're saying. Because he's trying to manifest a new communication here, the Ten of Cups in the reverse, right? Yeah, that commitment that didn't happen. So what I'm getting, guys, is that he's going to come back to you and he's going to try and open up a new door of communication with you, right? Towards this commitment, telling you that he wants to follow his heart with you and talk about this new commitment that makes you happy. Because somebody, like I said, could be telling him to do that, his friend, relative, whatever, right? But you have to watch for it. You have to know, your gut instinct will tell you whether what you're hearing about this story, because you have gone through a learning lesson, whether it's right or wrong here. So you have to watch for that energy here, guys. Like I said, because you have to be very careful if this is for real or is it again a part of the game, a deceitful energy, right? So you have to watch what you think before you talk. So pay attention to your own intuition here before you eventually talk, because this is where he could be doing that same, because he wants to manifest a communication with you. But, it is a matter of him knowing how he can start the communication where his earlier commitment, he had failed to keep his earlier commitment with you. So it is all about following his heart with you towards that new commitment, right? But you have to watch for that, is what they're telling you here. Because Ten of Wands, right? Because there is this, otherwise again, it's going to be the same old story and we don't want that story to happen, right? So we have to be careful. The High Priestess in the reverse and the Two of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, this is because of this situation. there has been no communication between two people because there has been a lot of falling in love. And this is where a new door to a new communication is what he's wanting to open up with you. Let me tell you that. Okay. But he's feeling extremely stressed and burdened with this situation. He doesn't know how to really start this communication. Once again, the Four of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the World. Yeah. Where you are willing to close the earlier chapter that he failed to work with, right? But you should be on your guard all the time, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Because this new communication is because there has been a folly in love. He knows that he did not do things right, and therefore this whole thing is very, very silent, and a lot of burden and a lot of stress out here. So this is what he's trying to manifest, where he wants to open the door to a new communication with you. Let's see. Please talk to me about the Page of Wands, but you have to pay very close attention to your intuition, Divine Feminine, because he could be coming in and telling you a lot of things or trying to tell you. The Hermit. Yeah, you have to, because he could be doing a lot of soul searching on this as well. What he wants to tell you at this point in time, the Seven of Wands, because he knows, he's doing a lot of soul searching here, guys, as to what he wants to tell you. Because he knows that you can move out, and you will be moving out soon, and you are on the verge of taking that situation for your own next cycle in life, right? So therefore he is doing a lot of soul searching, where he is trying to understand how he can communicate with you, because there will be a lot of criticisms from your end which he has to face. So he will need a lot of strength to counteract those criticisms with you, right? Or kind of put boundaries on those criticisms so that you don't go back into those criticisms again, right? So something about the whole situation is what he's trying to work with right now, so that he can open the door to his communication. So he could very well come with a very nice message, sentimental message towards you that makes you happy. But then again, you have to be on your guard, because you have already learned a lesson before, Divine Feminine. So don't take everything that he says right away, and don't get all mushy and gooey because you feel equally soft and sentimental for him. No. Watch out for that. Watch out, okay? So be on your guard, guys, because he's definitely working on this story here, is what I'm getting. He's working on the story as to what he can tell you, right? That will give you a sense of feeling of happiness. The words that he wants to say, the sentiments that he wants to express, right? What is that interest that you have, that he can delve into that particular area of interest that you have, which is where he wants to talk about things, so that he can directly aim towards your interest. That will catch the whole story, because that will get you interested as well in finding out more. Maybe he'll come and tell you, let's work on this, because he knows you're interested in that particular subject, right? So something of that kind. And this is just the beginning of opening a new doorway to a communication, because he knows that you are in doubt still about his whole story. So he wants to change that doubt. Please talk to me about a consciousness of lack. He wants to change that story. Be assertive. Yeah. Yeah. He wants to be assertive. He wants to prove his worth to you now. He doesn't want to come to you, let go. Yeah. He doesn't want to come to you with the old story. You know, he's letting go of the old, let me tell you, so that he can come to you in a more assertive way that you will like, that will immediately perk your interest, and that he can catch you in the right way, in the right frame, in the right mood, right? So, yeah, he will be assertive in order to overcome that consciousness of lack that he had depicted in front of you before. So, you have to watch for that energy. I'm not saying he's going to do anything wrong, guys, but again, don't take everything that he says at face value. Until, as the Queen of Swords, until you're very clear about his intention. That's what I'm trying. Because you have learned a lesson. So you have to be very clear about his intention. If his intention is good or his intention is to deceive you. So that is something you will have to judge for yourself, right? Because he will come to you as being very assertive. So that you like that feeling, right? That he knows what he's doing. He's not in that consciousness of lack, that he doesn't know what he wants. No, no, no. That he knows what he wants. That is how he will come to you. That I know what I want now as the Knight of Cups, right? So, but again, like I said, be very careful. There is nothing wrong, but that Seven of Swords energy that I showed you, that is where I have a little bit of a problem, guys. But watch for it. Watch for it, okay? Don't get caught up in that old story again. But if everything goes good, we are all good, right? But this is just to be on the safe side. So enjoy this reading, Divine Feminine. Until I see you once again, till then, goodbye, God bless, Khuda Hafiz, and Namaste.